And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, everyone? Happy hump day. It's the middle of the week. Happy hump day.
Yes, happy hump day, Herman. What's good, man? JSK is in the room.
What's
Third
up,
Eye
JSK?
View. What's up, Third Eye View?
Hey, what's up, man? Nice videos, man.
Johnny Drone Flyer as well. Yes, Leonard. It's good to see you showing your videos. Steven, flyby guys.
Steven.
Leonard says he's just chilling. Well, is it still raining in Jersey? Because all that stuff is actually raining. It should be raining over you now, Herman, because the sky started to get
banging over here for a minute.
Oh, well, I'm just now hearing thunder all the way from Brooklyn.
The rain, it came back again. And so.
Ray Kelly, what's good, man? How are you, sir? Hope all is well with all you guys. Happy hump day.
So what's up, man?
Nothing, not a whole lot. I mean, to be honest, it's okay day. I did some FPV flying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told you I got my stuff out of storage.
Right.
And I'm glad it felt good to fly FPV 2 days in a row. It really did. I missed it. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I come from flying a camera drone. So to miss flying FPV, it's neither here nor there. Hey, show, what's good? It's about to start raining in Jersey as well. Leonard's saying. I'm getting ready to go fly between the rain. Still humid here, Third Eye. Well, so what's good with you, Herman?
Well, you know, I've been doing a few things around here. I've been working on trying to get my Achilles tendon right. Because, you know, that was my biggest issue with the whole thing. So it's getting where I needed to be. Soon you'll see me sprinting again.
All right. Then you could tell the kids on the football team, if I can do it, I know damn well y'all can.
I ain't running no gas.
All right. Well, you can hit a couple of tackling blocks, sleds, some tackle sleds. You're not gonna hit no more tackle sleds like you did before?
Not them days. Just because you can do it doesn't.
Hey, Brent. Ariels, what's good? This is true.
What's up, Gary? What's up?
How are you, Gary? Everyone in the chat. I hope you're all doing well. Johnny Drone Flyer has been pushing out some videos. I'd like to point out you need to go by and check.
Here, so Lawrence, that you know, Tom.
Giveaway stuff. Yeah, we need to have a giveaway to give away all this stuff. There's a starter set of goggles. There's a starter drone there. I don't know if that drone has a controller. You might need a radio. Is there a controller in there? Do you know? I don't think there's a controller, but we will work it out so that.
No, I didn't see one. But I do have some.
Oh, some filters. Those are for the Mavic. Those are for the Mavic Mini. Those are Mavic Mini filters right there. We need to give away.
We got a few things, but that's up to you guys to figure out how to give it out.
Yes, we're going to leave that to you guys in the chat. Come up with a way and don't say.
I left it up to you and Tom.
Oh, shit. Okay, I was trying to push it on the chat. Isn't that like...
If you leave it up to the guys in the chat will go send it to me.
True. This is true. All right. I'm going to have to come up with something that... something for this giveaway.
Don't send me your stuff that don't work.
No, I haven't. You know what I came to realize, Herman? You know where I moved from, right? Well, where I'm at now, there's less to fly. Pick a secret number. Ray Kelly says, pick this number to guess 32. Okay, that's how Ray and Johnny, that's how they're gonna do it. Said Brent and Gary go 666. we're not going to leave it to you guys to decide. Herman has a valid point there. I will try and come up with something. I'm going to try. The question thing isn't too much. Maybe we could find a little wheel, little spinny wheel or whatever, and put everyone's name on it, and do it that way. I need to look into that. Let's look for in fact, I'm gonna search for it now while we're online. YouTube contests. YouTube games for
the easiest way to do it. You did it before.
YouTube games for live streams. Let's see what comes up.
The Wheel of Fortune.
An NVIDIA. I don't want to build.
Pick a card. Pick a card.
I don't want to do gaming. They're saying NVIDIA broadcast app. I don't need to know how to stream. I already know how to stream. How to watch YouTube games while streaming. Why start a gaming live stream? Never mind. I'll have to do the research. Let me just close it. I'll figure it out eventually. The neighbor of 668 is Gary goes 668 is the neighbor of the beast. 666. Okay. 69. Somebody had to say it. Okay, show. I'm glad. Give it to a bald 64-year-old Johnny Drone Flyer. Well, see that they're coming up with ways to do it.
But you know what it is though, Lawrence? Because
what's that?
Because 667 would be across the street.
Oh yeah, you're right. The neighbor, that's true, because it goes in twos, right? It goes in increments of two, right? Hey, Hugh. Hey, what's up, Hugh? How are you? Hope all is well. I hope all is well with all of you, because it's starting to rain here. Ooh. You know what? I need to hook up a camera outside the window so I can just point. You can see this gray cloud moving towards me like this out of nowhere. What's up, Tom?
I thought you were looking up to that bridge above you and seeing whether there was a pigeon ready to fire down. So,
oh, it looks like he's about to drop down on me, right?
Yep.
What's going on, Tom? How are you?
Good. How are you, Herman?
What's up, Tom?
How's everything, Lawrence?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I was just telling Herman I got to fly some FPV for the first time 2 days in a row, and boy, did I need an FPV fix, Tom. I was telling him I come from flying camera drones. You and both Herman and everyone else who knows me knows that. And then I got into this FPV thing, and well, I got my stuff out of storage, so you should be seeing some FPV stuff. I'm actually going to work on a second project with an FPV / camera drone video. And I just need to come up with a concept and a theme and a subject to do that.
What's up, Hugh?
What's that logo on your hat, Tom? Looks like a knight.
That is, yes, that would be the Las Vegas Knights.
Okay.
National Hockey League.
Hey, Jackson.
Two-time visitors to the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
My new hometown team, because they can fill in the gaps for me between the New York Rangers, because the New York Rangers only win a Stanley Cup every 40 years. So I think I already shot my load on that one.
So you have a better chance. You have a better chance with
the Knights. I got to be rooting for the Rangers, the Ranger Blue, when they come to Vegas. But I'll probably see a lot more winning games with the Knights, though.
Okay. And if I recall, they did make the playoffs.
Not just the playoffs, but the Stanley Cup, both in their freshman and sophomore year. Plus, remember, and Herman, of interest to you, bro, I have the Las Vegas Raiders now playing in Allegiant Stadium, which they just built, which is off the hook, man, off the hook. Definitely a spot to visit in Vegas. But right in my backyard in Henderson, Nevada, is the Raiders workout facility, and that's a monumental facility, Herman. You'd never leave, man. You'd move in. Okay. It's over the top. Plus the women of the Raiders have a building right next door, in fact.
863.
Okay.
So Yeah, and then I got they're building an arena now for the Henderson Silver Knights, which is going to be American Hockey League,
Right.
a minor league team there as well.
They
So,
got enough space.
oh, absolutely, man. The only thing I haven't seen hide or hair of yet is the NBA franchise, which you know is going to come.
Mhm.
And if they're going for baseball, then a dome stadium would definitely be necessary. Okay, got
We
to keep
almost
that
did
AC pumping.
we almost did a quarter of a stream, Gary, on that subject. He says he flew to Air 2S on a commercial job today.
Uh-huh.
The fly app is crap, and I have to agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I'm getting used
look,
to it, though.
Look, it's a tool like anything else, man. And unfortunately, the tool has its limitations. There's no doubt about it. Because of the capability of the 2S,
Mhm.
I would rather see some porting from the Go 4 app, or you know what? I would love to see DJI even make available for a price. Make like the Pilot app available for a price, and you can configure your various aircraft with it, right? It's not that they don't know how to get these applications to communicate with their fleet of aircraft. That's a given.
Right.
But you know, look, if I want more capability and I want to pay for a commercial license for, say, the DJI Pilot app, or hopefully the DJI HUD app at some point in time, that I can do that. So I pay a slight premium, you know.
Okay.
And that's the cost of doing business, whether it's a subscription fee or whatever. But
This
yeah,
is
I
true.
agree. Give me more capability to flex the capability of the aircraft you're selling me, right?
Right. Right. At least that's what they could do. They got rid of the side sensors. Give something in return of those side sensors.
Yeah. Well, they'll give you a new drone to buy.
Hey, Michael Blades, what's good, man?
What's
Fellow
going
FP.
on,
You know what, Tom? It's
Yeah.
funny you say that, because every time we ask for something, they give it to us in another bird.
Oh yeah, yeah. Eventually
Yeah.
you get everything you want,
Keep hollering for it.
but you'll need. I mean, you'll need your own power grid to charge all the batteries for those drones. Okay, please.
Yeah. And you know what? That's the thing that I don't like so far, that I didn't like about FPV, and that's charging these lipos. Now, I'm paranoid to charge one by itself.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I have a multi-charger, but I'm not going to sit there and take the temperature of each battery. And I have to, I'd rather sit there and watch this one charge properly, watch the next one charge properly, because I've seen these things go wrong.
It's dangerous.
I was
Unfortunately.
charging one last night. And last night it was one that was in the bottom of the bag that I hadn't used in a while. And it was a 6 cell. And what happened was all 6 cells were even. And just as it was about to max out at 4.20 volts, one of them started dropping to 19, 18. I said, this isn't right. I said, let me see how far it goes. Maybe it'll lift back up. It dropped down to about 15. Now, if you know anything about LiPo batteries, your cell count cannot be higher than 2 or 3 or lower than 2 or 3. That means that cell is damaged. And I immediately took it off, and I felt the battery, and one part of the battery LiPo was hot as fuck.
Yeah,
and I immediately, right, which means that cell was shot. So I immediately took it out and I sat it on the windowsill, which is cool. And the temperature went down, and now I have to dispose of it properly.
Right.
But you don't want a LiPo battery to go bad in your house, because water will not put it out.
Oxygen. So Drone 863 says he believes the Go 4 app is dead. All the new drones are going the fly app route, and he thinks with the future release of, hopefully, I guess, we're all guessing that they call it a Mavic 3 Pro, or probably just a Pro 3 or a 3 Pro, who knows?
Right.
Okay, I'm not on their marketing team, but that they'll come out with a new app. One would only hope Okay, but that will be another premium ad
You see what
for
Gary
the price
put?
of that drone. Okay.
He said,
What
I,
Yeah.
happened?
I asked him what he didn't like about the the OnFly app, and he says getting 30-second latency on video.
I see something's wrong there. Something's wrong there, Gary, because the 30-second latency, you're well out of range, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
30-second latency, I'd be crashing into stuff. I'm sorry. I happen to fly
30
low and
seconds.
not
Yeah,
so slow.
that is, I
So
agree.
there's something wrong there, or you have 3 FPV pilots facing you while they're flying, you know, or somebody's got one
Maddie.
of those real nifty fangle dangle antenna boosters.
Well,
Herman, show them what the honeycomb looks like.
but,
You know, and maybe
but
that's
what,
squashing you.
what I want to ask him though, because he said he was flying a job, right, Lawrence?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So-
but a 30-second latency.
Yes.
That-
So my thing is, that only kind of leads me to the old DJI question. Well, what device are you using?
Right. Also, what device you're using, but hey, Maddie's Drone World, welcome to the stream. But my question is, I have not had a 30-second lag in my video, but on my map, my real-time map in the lower left-hand corner that I like to see when I'm flying, it takes that about 3 to 4 seconds to catch up to your drone.
That's
like
that's
that.
because that's not a foreground element.
Mhm.
Okay. In
Right, so it's not
application
pressing.
speak, so that's
They
lower
upgraded
on the food chain as far as so that's not necessarily while they call it real time, it's not necessarily at the same cycle rate of refresh that you're getting to the screen. So yeah, I
was a
really
recent
think there's a
update on it.
problem there with a 30-second latency latency to be honest with you, 4 seconds is pretty significant.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't like
That
seeing
well,
that
and
on the
it's
map.
it's not acceptable at all in the FPV world. Okay, in the camera drone world, you know, even with the early stuff,
It wasn't
you know,
that much.
I wasn't getting it that
He
bad.
says he's using
so,
an iPad Mini 4, same as he uses
well,
on his Mavic Air.
Okay.
yeah, that shouldn't necessarily be a problem, but there's something else sitting
What
all
was the
over your
last
signal there.
update you did? Because there was recently a firmware update.
Yeah, but I'd also go to the connection screen, okay, and see what's happening there. And I would definitely check to see what kind of signal I'm getting, because something's definitely wrong there. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
too-
that
that's
you
too
should
low.
not have 30-second lag. And at 600 feet, definitely not at 600 feet. If you were
No, unless the 600 feet is on the other side of a bunker.
I was going to say,
yeah,
it was on
that
a
would
building
be
between
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
We
Or
experienced that
something
here in New
creating
York, but Tom, we experienced that here in New York. And even if we have an object between us and the drone, and it's not 30-second delay.
well, that's what I'm. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
so
saying.
you might want to
Lawrence,
look
right?
into that. Make
If
sure
we
you're
had
on
a
the right
30-second
update.
delay, we probably, you know, man, you can't throw a
He
stick
says he
here.
updated the firmware when he got it last week. That's
You
strange.
throw a Spalding here, and within 4 seconds, it's hitting something in the city, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
30 seconds, man. You got some. Yeah. That I would check that out definitely.
I would be
Definitely.
looking for it to go into return to home after 30 seconds.
Well, yeah. Actually, you would get
Well, you see
a trigger
something.
even before then.
Mhm.
Okay. Transmission outage of about 10 seconds. Okay. You lose a signal. It's already going to go through a return to home sequence.
Well,
And
I
then you
think
should
what
get an
he's
announcement
getting is-
within about at the 30-second mark. You should already hear the beeping that it's coming home.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know if he's getting an outage. I think what he's getting is a jumping screen.
Yeah, probably.
And that can be for a few different reasons now, guys. So
the tablet
your
could be running
iPad-
a lot of apps.
well,
Do you
your
only-
iPad, right, you might not realize it. You got to go to general and about and go take a look at the storage space, clean up whatever you can, close whatever apps you
Landed
can.
the drone and it had
And-
my trunk when the video on landing was coming on the screen. Wow.
Wow.
Ads.
Wow. Yeah. So I would definitely look at the iPad
Definitely,
and definitely
definitely.
clean out everything, man. Video cache. The best thing you can actually do is close all the apps and reboot the iPad. Think about it. How many times do people actually even think about rebooting their iPad or tablet? Usually not at all, unless one of their games isn't operating.
Well,
Well, look
this
at
is
this as a
what
game, right?
this is.
Reboot it with a hard reboot, and that will clear your video cache. Okay. Also, make sure use an OTG cable. Your cables can cause you problems. And then make sure the remote is updated as well. Your
Well,
RC is
also,
updated
it's
as
since you're
well.
looking at tablets and there's ideas, me
Yeah.
personally, I have a tablet that I specifically fly with. I do nothing else on this tablet. I don't do no Facebook, nothing. This
Yeah, all
tablet
those
is
apps are dead.
specifically for flying. I notice a few people use their phones and other apps interfere and stuff. If that tablet is what you use to fly, clear the cache, make sure you only use it to fly with. If other people are using it, then you're going to have to force stop a lot of apps before you fly. That's the only thing that I can think of, because that sounds like a memory issue. The internals in the
Yeah,
iPad
like,
mini having issues after the 14 update, and is maxing the CPU on the
Yeah. So you
iPad.
see that. So that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your screen is competing,
Mhm.
okay, with whatever's running in the background on that iPad. So that's usually a good spot to
Yeah, he
focus on
says
first.
he said just the DJI apps and bloatware are on the iPad. Yeah,
Yeah,
then
but realize when we talk about firmware updates, we're talking about number one, the drone, two, the remote controller, three, the application itself, the Fly app, right?
Yeah,
Make
drones
sure the OS
863
on the
says, yeah.
iPad is done. And also, and this is often forgotten, your batteries are intelligent. So after a firmware update, okay, the
You have to
battery
put
that's in
each
there,
battery in.
the
Each
battery that's in
battery.
there is updated, but now put each of your other batteries in there and cycle them through a minute startup and all, and it'll show you firmware inconsistency, update battery. Yes, do that. Yeah, can you do it when you're out in the field? Yeah, but really, aren't you out in the field to fly? So, and don't risk firmware updates out in the field. Okay.
True.
First of all, if you can deplete your battery bank, your bank of batteries so much quicker out there, because they're fighting for connectivity.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're trying to download and update the firmware. So you're going to deplete a battery or two, or you might not be able to fly at all because you could screw up the firmware update. How many times have you seen do not shut off updating? Well, you lose connectivity out there. It's almost like
That's
shutting
true.
off. Okay.
And your battery dies.
Everything is messed up.
And then you're going to come home, and the only way you're going to update that bird is with DJI Assistant. Okay. So only at home do you do your Wi-Fi firmware updates, because you always have your back door with DJI Assistant. Out in the field, your back door is your car door because you're going home without any shots.
Yeah.
Or worse yet, you're going home with an angry client because they didn't get what they wanted, right?
This is true. This is true as well. So
yeah, he's got to do something, clean up that tablet.
It is official.
I've never had that experience, because when my tablet that I used for the Phantom, the tablet I used for the sUAS, all the apps on it are dead. They're asleep. There's no need for them to update.
Well,
I don't.
He's saying no photos or videos or anything he doesn't need. No, I understand that. We're not even talking about stuff you can see. Okay.
Right.
We're talking about
things running in the background.
Yeah,
processes that abandon processes in the background. Okay. That just die there and hang on the vine. Okay. And we know how those branches are. Somebody just said they crashed their, sorry, Asgard.
That was Hugh. But drones 863 says after update number 14, I have seen issues with people with the Mini 4. Yeah, I have seen some issues.
So that's not
as
one
of
of Tom's
lately.
tool tips, but don't be an early adopter, or wait for idiots like me who are early adopters to try to tell you there's something wrong. Okay. But
Hey,
yeah,
what's up, Wells Rob?
firmware updates. Look, in the IT world, what do they do with patches? Patches get incubated first.
Yep,
Okay, for
and
a
they
set
don't
period before
update
they're
until
applied.
hours.
Okay, but they
Yeah.
don't. They're not applied on day 0. They're not applied on day 1 unless there's a day 0 attack, and then there's a significant amount of testing that goes into it. But what you got to do is you got to incubate that firmware and check sources like as far as the drones go, like Mavic pilots or Phantom pilots, which are forums. Okay. Usually you can find out there real quick if one of the firmware updates is causing havoc or not.
Right. And you may
is
have
there
to
a known
backstep.
problem?
You
But
may
the
have to
other good thing
backstep.
about Mavic pilots and Phantom pilots, those forum sites, is if there's a known problem, somebody has probably figured out a workaround. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's why it's a good source. Stay plugged in. Remember, flying your bird is not just fun, it's a responsibility. So, if you're screwing up your bird with firmware or stuff like that, or like I said, a 30-second latency, man, you could be bouncing off something and not know it until 29 seconds later, right?
Yeah,
So, this is what you got to be careful of. Yeah.
Or past his location.
What think he's past. And now imagine over at Flushing RC, that could mean you're in the southbound lane of the Van Wyck. Okay. So yeah, and that's an expressway, guys. Sorry, dropping off terms. We don't use entire terms here, but
yeah, Third Eye View says he only has air maps, the DJI Fly app, and the operating system on his trip.
Yeah, but there's still going to be abandoned every time you start and stop that tablet. There's some garbage that's set aside, right? And the only thing that really takes out the garbage completely and sprays out the can is when you do the reboot. That's the only way you're really starting with a clean slate. So I always highly recommend.
Gary
it's an inconvenience.
Trusted source. I get all my good advice from those guys.
There you go.
We appreciate it, and it's all about each one teach one. If I know something about a drone that I can share with someone that may prevent them from having an issue that I may have had, it's worth sharing, most definitely. That's what it's all about. That's what we do this for, not to
experiences shared make a community.
Gary, while we're there, get ankle socks for the summertime, man. Ankle socks.
Ankle socks.
What was that?
Well, he said he takes all his advice from those guys. I told him to get some ankle.
So Erwin just gave him some more advice. Dude, I gotta wear. Sorry, bro. I gotta wear those support socks. I'm sorry. I need the compression ones.
They just don't look good with shorts, though, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I don't wear shorts. What? First off, I would blind you if I wore shorts. Okay. I told you I only come in 2 shades: Minnesota white and lobster red. Man, there's nothing.
Excuse me a second, guys.
Okay. So, yeah, I ain't wearing shorts, man. It would look like basically chicken wings in like no time flat. Okay. I would sizzle up. Armin. Okay. Look, the only reason I wear the beard is because it's whiter than my skin. It gives me a little more contrast. Okay. So, dude, me and SPF 100 sunscreen have an intimate relationship.
You know what I thought was kind of interesting? As I'm quite sure everybody saw it, and they had the guys over at Drone DJ had said that how their sources say that they have a source that says that you won't see that Mavic you mentioned earlier, the 3.
Yeah, the Mavic. It's gonna the Mavic 3000. They're gonna name it after the price. Okay.
You probably won't see it until no earlier than October. But weren't we talking about November on that?
Well, look, they have to make it available in time for you to think you'll get it for Christmas. Okay. Right. So, that's what's going to happen, I think. Look, it's either they're going to spring it on you in August, which I seriously doubt. Okay. Because they've done that before. Remember, they did that with wasn't the 2 Pro, the end of July, beginning of August. And that's what, 3 years ago, man.
What was it? 3 years
Oh,
ago?
yeah, 3 years ago. So
Already?
yeah,
Already 3? Damn.
yeah. But I think they're going to scrap the Mavic 3 name or the DJI Pro 3 name and call it a DJI Pro 3000 because that's what it's going to cost you. Okay. By the time you've done with your Fly More package, and of course the extra money you'll have to pay for those bigger ND filters. Yeah. Okay. Because of the giant camera wall opening it has on it.
Mm-hmm. So you really think they're gonna hang a big
Look, you can't come out with a DJI Pro 3 and hang a 1-inch sensor. What are you going to add? What are you going to add to this one? You're going to add aperture control to it and say, oh, it's better. No, it's got to be a faster processor.
No, they're going to have to do a few more other things too. Then. You know,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we all
it's going to have speed.
We all agree that the app is part of the flying feature. So if they're going to throw something of that quality on this,
hey Merrill,
Fly app,
you know what? And not to throw to spitball, but we've all talked about how do you hang a larger camera. I'm not concerned about a heavier camera, because I think that's easily solved. Okay, the weight issue and your thrust versus weight requirements. But what I would love to see is something that actually, the camera hangs in a storage mode, just like the camera hangs right now in the operation mode. We'll say on the sUAS, right?
Okay.
So it sits right there. But what I would like to see is a larger camera. And what happens is after it takes off and reaches 3 feet in altitude, the camera comes down, okay, on an elbow. And now maybe I don't get 360 degrees, but maybe you can give me a 270 degree turn on that gimbal, right? Because now I'm below, okay, my props. I'm below my arms. Look,
I understand what you're saying.
It can be easily achieved because the dynamics are solutionable now. Because look, you can raise landing gear on an Inspire, right?
True.
All we're doing is creating a platform that elbows down and then can articulate a wider range of field. Okay. To me, that would allow you to maybe put a larger sensor on there. Okay. With more photo sites, a fast 10-bit plus,
right.
Bring it up to a 12-bit, more dynamic range, because of course, the larger the sensor, we can get a lot more dynamic range out of it.
Well,
that, and it's got to fly faster.
Right.
And have a better feature set. And that's why I tend to agree with there's got to be some application development here, because I would not want to fly that with the Fly app.
No.
Okay. No. Okay. So
yeah, I seriously
please let me use my smart controller, please.
Now, the thing is, with something like that, I couldn't see it being on the Fly app, because you don't have control the way you have, and the parameters of your camera with the Fly app, the way you do with the Go 4 app.
Well, I fly a Mavic to ED and EA with a smart controller.
I don't like my upper lip, Welsh Rob.
But not with, you're not flying that with a Fly app. You're flying that with the DJI Pilot app.
Right.
Okay.
What the hell are you doing?
But so you got to come out with something
on the smart controller.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's an advanced version of the smart controller for the Matrice. Okay. But
No, I've seen that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a capable application to run a Pro 3.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sure,
allow me to
have
use the
fun.
Pro
Thanks for
3 with
coming.
an Air 2S also. Why not?
Well,
And I believe
Tom,
people would pay. I believe commercial pilots would pay for it.
Tom, I like your idea of having a better camera. My problem is it's not for the weak or faint-hearted, because I know people that have a hard enough problem with the camera angle that they already have. So imagine giving them a 270.
Well, you know
In
what
fact,
what can be said for that is, remember that you could turn around, Lawrence, right?
This is true.
And with the AI in the camera, it's an active track. Imagine what you can do with 270 degrees in an active track, right?
True.
You know, now that orbit around, or the ellipse,
Mm-hmm.
the orbits are boring. Do ellipses now. Okay, we'll start that trend.
Yeah.
They're ellipses, right?
Elliptical orbit is a lot easier.
But you turn around and now even your tracking, I mean, even tracking for hyperlapses and things like that would, you know, benefit from it. And then imagine how much cleaner a horizontal panorama would be with the camera that could move.
That's true. That's very true.
Now you're talking about something really clean coming out at the back end.
Hey, Copper State.
Hey, what's up? Copper State.
How
what
have
else
you
is
been,
happening,
Copper
guys?
State, Ariel?
Well,
we'll see.
You know how they always, we've adopted that saying that friends don't let friends drink and drive. Well,
as Lawrence takes a sip.
Well, he's not driving. And we all know.
The red cup gave it away, huh?
Well, no, the bottles you were passing around.
My nephew, it's his birthday tomorrow. He's starting today.
Start early. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, he's starting today. So.
Well, I'm not picking on you about that. I'm just saying, we need to adopt that in the drone world, because they had an article in the story I was reading here about what they said, drinking and droning don't mix. A Japanese man had to learn the hard way. The 56-year-old Japanese guy over in I guess it was in Japan, but after knocking down 8 cans of beer, he thought it would be okay to fly his drone that he had in the house laying around for a while, and he crashed into his neighbor's window.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbors called the police, and now the police are investigating. This happened, a little while ago, and now it's come up again because of the investigation of the police. But it's crazy because if he's found guilty, they're saying something about 300,000 yen, which roughly about $2,740.
Well, Herman, just to interrupt really quick, you know what's funny about this? The fact that I didn't know this, but in Japan, they just made flying drunk a punishable offense in 2019.
Well, it is
not too long ago.
Okay, so but they didn't think it was necessary, right?
Yeah.
Herman, have you heard about RBDD, right? Mm-hmm. That's rednecks in boats drinking and droning. Okay, I thought that's what the story was about.
No, this.
And we have boating accidents all the time here. The way we have them here.
Oh yeah, because of that. But
yeah, exactly.
This guy, I guess he knocked down 8 cans of beer. So I guess it's equivalent to the 11 point something, which is the 12-ounce beers.
But not if it's those Nippon beers, man. Those are full liters, okay? Those cans are.
No, these are 350 milliliter cans.
Yeah, they
said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. They're only about 11
well, ounces. FYI, for those of you who are not 107 and don't know, this will be on the 107 test. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different
Okay, so we have a term.
6 different bullet points for flying under the influence, not flying under the influence. One is illness, one is medication, one is stress, one is alcohol, you have fatigue and emotion. And if you're suffering from any one of these things, you should not be flying a drone, at least here in the United States. I don't know how they do in Japan or
so
apparently they just
there's a very old saying. There's a very old saying in the aviation community: 8 hours, bottle to throttle.
Right, 8 hours.
Okay, so it's 8 hours.
Well,
8 hours from the
how
time you had your last drink. Of course, if that was a 2-day bender, I would say you have to multiply that by.
Well, Tom, it all depends on how much you drank too. It could take about 24 hours, because if you're pounding them, you know what I mean, and somebody else is sipping and you stop at the same time, that's 8 hours can't apply.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, the theory of 8 hours bottle to throttle is that you got 8 hours of sleep in between.
He says in Canada you have to be cannabis free.
It's actually
for 20 days.
Well, it's 24 hours is what the FAA recommends. Okay. And then of course the legal limits are the same as that apply to driving while under the influence.
We over here. Let's get in the car. Let's go.
But
Rob says he suffers from all of that. He's married.
So see now, this is going to be up for debate. Canada, it says you got to be cannabis free for 28 days. So there's still a lot of research on that. There's a lot of stuff coming out on that. The thing is that cannabis just stays in your system for freaking ever. Okay, as far as being able to trace it, now impairment, is significantly shorter. And to say that somebody who consumed marijuana medicinally, can't fly for 28 days is a bit ridiculous. Okay. If that person is under treatment, and that person can drive, then it's a matter of they'll pull your ticket if you get in trouble, and then you get tested and you have something in your system. And believe me, if they want to screw with you, a hair sample can trace it up to a year from the last time you took it.
That 20
and wait a second. Why do I have 2 bald guys in the room? I was talking about you can be tested for up to a year if they take a hair follicle, but and then I realized I got two guys who shaved their heads here. What's up with that, guys?
That way,
we're not trying to evade detection, are we? That's right.
I go to a lot of places.
What Herman's trying to tell you is he shaves all over.
The secondhand smoke.
Herman shaves all over, so they can't get him anywhere on that body. Okay, Matt Adonis body of his.
Well, just pull a hair out my mustache.
You're a swimmer. Yeah.
Copper State, didn't they Copper still State says, "Why you're giggling at that, Herman?"
At what?
Yeah.
At what? Shaving the hair off me. I'm a swimmer.
What's up, Eddie?
You're a swimmer?
I'm a swimmer.
Well, I'm bald and I can't swim.
No, swimmers.
No, we've heard that one already. What?
Yeah, we know that one, Lawrence.
In
like a rock.
Ocean biologist, what was that? And then realized
he can't swim.
There were some limitations there. I wanted to be a paratrooper, but I was afraid of heights.
Well, you know what? I had another thing I wanted to tell you about this.
TV.
What happened?
What's up, Stevie?
Oh, Stevie.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, last Sunday afternoon around 4-ish, this drone pilot in Australia, Matt Woods, he took off from his balcony on the beach, and with his Mavic Zoom, and hoping to catch some nice ocean footage. And shortly after taking off, he realized that he was catching footage of what do you call it?
Herman, you got to
Fisherman
share. Oh, I got it. It's on. It's on. My bad.
A spear fisherman in a fight with a shark.
Come on.
Now what's that? He immediately, I guess he called for help as he continued to shoot this, catch this footage of this guy who's a spear fisherman in the water for about 30 minutes fighting with this shark.
Yeah, what they believe was a large, what they believe was a large mako shark in the area. Now, keep in mind, the guy also, you see, the reason you see the seagulls is because the guy up in this corner, well, I should have stopped it there, but right here is an orange bait bag. And what the scuba divers do is they use the bait bag to lure away any larger predators. Sorry for interrupting her, but I just wanted to point that.
So yeah, they finally was able to get him some help for him to get out of there, but that
you see him poking at the shark with the spear gun.
Well, he's got but I don't know how many spears he's got.
No, he never. I don't think he fired it. He was using it as actually
just to keep him away.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to point out now he's slowly swimming away. Here's the bait bag coming over here. The shark smells it, and it's exactly what it's designed for, to pull the shark away from. And it actually grabs the bag and tries to take a few chunks out of it. And I'm surprised, honestly, it didn't go for the bait bag, but I guess they like their food fresh too. They go after the moving target.
It did. If you know, a little later in this video, you'll see right now where the shark's going at the bait bag. So the spear fisherman is already close to 50 yards north of him. You know? So he's like, yeah, go ahead. You can have that. That's yours now.
Yeah,
thank you. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much,
man.
Yeah,
please. I'm just glad. I'm glad that he got a chance to get away, and to be honest, that's
now you know what's really striking is
he would have gotten.
Well, if you see, you know, as it pans out, and you see that those were schools of fish around there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So he was attracting this. So there was a lot going on for this mako shark to go. Looks like a drive-in. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
how would you say all you can eat buffet?
All you can eat seafood buffet.
Well, you know what's funny about that though, Tom? I watched the video where these guys were using the drone, right? They sent the drone up and they were looking out in the water for schools of these jacks.
Yeah.
And they would turn the boat that way, cast the line out that way, see what they grab.
Right.
But as the longer you're out there doing this, those jacks start to attract bigger fish.
Of course.
They want to eat them.
And we forget about that because we're not in the food chain, right? We forget about it. We're not in the food chain.
Well, the things that eat us are smaller.
Yeah, well, something is always looking to have a meal, right?
True.
Okay. So we went out whale watching. We went out whale watching off of Maine, Portsmouth, Maine. Actually, Booth Bay, gorgeous spot if you guys can ever get up there. But we went out and we went past this Dog Island, and it's called Dog Island because it's full of seal.
Okay.
And so that area attracts a couple of different types of whale. Okay. But these killer whales will come in and have a feast on those seals. And now you think about a spear fisherman in a wetsuit.
You look like a seal. You look like a seal.
You're thrashing around. Okay. Yeah. So, it's easy to mistake who's who in the food chain out there.
In fact, what I didn't realize.
What's really, go ahead, Lawrence.
In this video, there were 2 bait bags I just saw. Hold on. I'm trying to get back to the part where there was one. Hold it. Yeah, I found it. Right here. Let me get rid of this. Stop. There's a bait bag here, and there's a bait bag here.
Yeah.
Well,
look, what is significant here, I think, is the fact that This was picked up from above, and you can clearly see what's happening. And remember, we talked about why aren't we equipping lifeguards
with drones,
at-risk
right?
beaches
We did
with
talk about
drones,
that.
Drones, yeah.
right? We talked about that.
We
Well,
did.
you
We
can-
definitely
worst
did.
You
part-
can cover a large area. Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Tom. But you see, the problem with these things is that it all goes in the budget. Every year you hear the talks about they're having trouble
Yep.
getting lifeguards because the budget this and the budget won't allow for that.
Well, hell, this
And-
year they barely had enough money for the lifeguards in New York City.
Well, not only that, but think about how many lifeguards get certified. New lifeguards get certified every year. Tell me how many got certified last year. So the supply
Yeah.
chain is a bit
Right.
interrupted there.
It dries up
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah.
This is true. Well, the supply chain for a lot of stuff. Hey, MG, Small Town Flyer, how are you? Welcome to the stream.
And
You
hear
guys
that a
ever
lot.
click the like button? Click it anyway. What I like about the story is the fact that sometimes you fly a drone never expecting to catch what you catch.
You see certain
So to
things.
catch something like that is
Well, that's why, guys, I'm a proponent of turning on your camera when you take off. Okay.
Mhm.
Look, yes, there's a lot of overhead, but I gave you a tip last week, lossless cuts.
Mhm.
Lossless cuts is a free application.
Mhm.
Okay. You can bring in your H.264, H.265 video into it, slice it and dice it, and only output those clips you want to save. Okay.
Okay.
So that cuts down on your overhead on your drive space. Get rid of everything else when you're done. I don't even take it off
Okay.
the card. I bring it from the card into lossless cuts.
Mhm.
The first time you go to export during that session out of lossless cuts, you tell it what the path is. So now I'll have the path go to more permanent storage. Okay. For me, that's going to be SSD storage only because I want to work with it in a fast
Right.
medium. Right.
Right.
And so I'm only bringing over the clip. So, you figure a couple of minutes worth of, we'll say, Air2S video is 3 to 4 megs.
Right.
And now you're cutting it down and you're only keeping, 800K here and, I'm sorry, gigs. And now you're only cutting it down to megs and kilobits instead of all this huge overhead. And then when you bring
Right.
it into, Premiere, bring the clips in, import the clips, put them through media encoder on your ingest settings so you can create proxies. Then go into assembly mode and just move your clips around until you get them in basic sequence of your storyboard, and then drag them into the timeline.
Here's a question
then
for
chop,
you about.
then
Here's a
dice and
question for
slice
you,
there,
Tom,
too.
about Premiere. What's the highest resolution you can save in Premiere?
Right now, it's I believe 8K.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking that is because I use Filmora, and I recently sent them an email saying I've been a long-time user of Filmora, and I was almost considering getting Filmora Pro till I found out it was very similar to Adobe Premiere. Now, my issue is Filmora does not save in anything higher than 4K at 60. So I sent them an email asking them, do you plan on making this an update? Do you plan on adding it to Filmora Pro? And I haven't gotten an answer back, but I'll keep you guys posted because it's important that you know what's the highest resolution your video editing software saves it.
So I'll qualify it for
that's
you.
my point. That's my point.
I'll qualify it for you. You can, in an H.264 codec, the maximum export resolution for H.264 is 4096 by 4096, which is slightly above 4K. But
Okay.
by using after codecs, from Adobe, that limit goes up to 16,384 by 16,384 or 16K.
Damn.
Okay. So
Okay.
remember that Adobe is used in the film industry.
Right. It's industry
it's a
standard.
mainstay.
Not like we heard on another video where they said
Well,
DaVinci was industry standard. We're not going to go where who said that bullshit.
It's look,
I'm sorry, Herman. I couldn't keep it in.
industry standards. If we want to talk industry standards, what do you port documents out as? PDFs, right?
Yes,
Who
exactly.
created that? Who created that standard?
That's Adobe.
Adobe, right?
Yeah, that's Adobe.
Okay. DNG, which is now in your drones, right? You can capture DNG in some drones, but in cameras, professional cameras, you can definitely capture DNG. And again, Adobe. Okay. You look at the Adobe color space. Adobe supports both. Okay. Adobe RGB, Pro RGB. Those are huge color spaces when you compare them to sRGB. So remember that Adobe has been in the industry probably longer than any of them because it was in the print industry first, right?
Right.
Nothing but standards there, from SWAP to CMYK. Okay, so
before I even knew
it's
about
a standards-driven
Adobe,
program.
Before I even knew about Adobe, I used to use Pinnacle. And at one time,
Pinnacle's still out there. I think it's up to 20.
It is
24.
It
I
is.
think.
It is.
Yeah, for $100, you can't go wrong with it. You get it's fun to play with. It's got a lot of graphic elements to it. Comes, with basically soup to nuts in the package. So it's not a bad package.
Drone Shot says 3D Studio, third Studio Max. I'm not familiar with that.
Lawrence, is that what you were using when you had to do the countdown 1, 2,
Pinnacle?
3? Yeah.
No. But for those of you who don't know what Herman and I are talking about, before I had my computer that I have now built, my computer was so slow that when I wanted to cut a splice in one area or time it to the music, I would have to count 3 seconds ahead of the splice. I'd go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and on 3 I would hit it, and 2 seconds later it would stop. That's how I used to edit video. Seriously, man. Before I got an update for my just push auto. Rob, I wish it was that easy. But before I got this computer built, seriously, just to edit Tom, and you've seen a few videos I've done this with, earlier videos back, but I used to have to count 1 1000, 2 1000, 3, and I would hit it and it would go 2 seconds further. Hey, Angie, how are you? Sitting there with a drink. Good evening to you, my lost girls. I guess today's your day off. I see a glass with some ice in it. So I will salute you. Salute.
What you got in the glass though?
Huh?
What you got? Kool-Aid?
What I got in here is blue.
Who?
It's blue.
Oh, okay.
I can't. Yeah, it's blue.
That's that raspberry stuff, right? Blue raspberry.
Something they use to make whatever a drink called a zombie is.
Oh.
A blue zombie or a zombie, whatever. My nephew likes it.
Not getting involved.
Okay. All right.
That sounds dangerous.
Dave's Targa animator. What's that? That's something else. See, Adobe is into.
Well, there's a ton of tools. Oh, yeah, there's a ton of tools out there. But look, it's what you're comfortable with. Okay?
What you say there, Matt?
You see what Big Matt put? Adobe is industry standard. Blackmagic makes DaVinci, but I heard quoted in a video that DaVinci was industry standard, and I'm going to correct that. No, it is not. Maybe it used to be. It may be a low industry standard, but it is not industry standard. I'm just saying. I heard it somewhere in a video, and I just cringed because they were giving away false information about DaVinci.
Okay. No,
and I just had to clear it up. It was Herman, it was eating me up from the time I found out about it, to be honest.
So look, Matt brought up a good point that Blackmagic owns DaVinci, but Blackmagic also has an official plugin for Premiere.
Right.
So you have direct GPU leveraging of Blackmagic video. So there's look, again, it comes down to what you're comfortable with. If you
True.
can pull video out of your drone and do something with it at the end, congratulations, because you're of a select group. I would say, and conservatively speaking, 25% of drone pilots actually ever publish anything. Okay. Most shoot, and hopefully they look at their stuff. And then some never feel that their stuff is good enough to put in front of anybody else.
You know why?
And we
Because
say, put it in front, look, we all start off someplace. So whatever tool you're comfortable with, use. That's all.
That's true. That's true. Are we going to get into this Department of Interior story? Because I wanted to hear your opinion on this story as well, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Well, remember I said the blue sUAS costs more.
Blue UAS. Blue UAS, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Buy American. What's real, Herman? What's real?
Well, the Pentagon has spent roughly about $18 million to test and identified the drones that the government agencies can use instead of using those Chinese assembled or made in China, drones made or assembled in China. But how do they compare to the competitors is what they're looking at. And in a government inside memo, they found that, these drones that the Pentagon has approved for this list are 8 to 14 times more expensive and only 20% as effective
in
their conservation work.
So Herman, if you were to buy the cheapest blue UAS you can buy is about $7,200 to $7,400. Okay,
78.
But you can get a more capable drone for around $2,100 from DJI.
Well, me and Lawrence is about to start selling the government some drones because
yes, we are. They're in manufacturing now.
Yeah, but look,
they're being manufactured as we speak.
You cut down the availability in the market. What are there? 5 sanctioned blue UAS. Guess what? 5 companies don't have to do? Compete with each other. Okay,
right.
There's no competition there.
Well,
and what you're forced in buying now realize we're talking about entities that you can go out. Look, any mom and pop fire department can go out and buy their own drone. Okay,
true.
But the mom and pop fire departments don't have money. They get money from federal grants. And because they get money from federal grants, guess what they can't buy? The drones they can afford to buy and leverage right away. They're forced to buy a blue UAS drone that has much less capability. So, DOI, okay, Department of Interior, they were the ones hit hardest by this. They grounded over 800 aircraft in their fleet.
810 to be exact. Yeah.
What's significant there is DOI in 2019 ran 31 distinct missions per day for 365 days. Okay. That's a lot of damn flights. And that's a lot of infrastructure that has to be covered. Now, I believe it had something to do with the severity of the wildfires we've had. Okay. Yes. Because while you might be able to use a drone to say, oh, we're going to pick this spot and this spot to put a fire break, you can't use the same drone to go check on the status of the fire. Now, what sense does that make? Now, even the Pentagon came out with a report that data wasn't being sent back to either DJI or the Chinese government. And we were all walking around with freaking phones. We're walking around with phones taking pictures of everything.
That are giving up every bit of information.
Checking this crap.
And you're right, Tom. They're giving up every bit of information that you're doing, where you're at, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, the same government agency that you're talking about is the same agency now that went and sent a memo to the Biden administration back in January about this, because as far as their sensor capability, with the application that they're using, it has reduced them as much as 95%.
Yeah, and
But there
capability,
has
right?
to be changes done.
Well, look. So if you look at why it's so important for Department of Interior to fly, okay, forget about the reseeding of our forests and the waterways, checking the waterway status and surveillance in areas. But if you look at it, you have them running all these missions that they need to run until they were grounded. But the optical and thermal imaging resolution sensors used by Department of Interior, okay, provide resolution improvements by over 1,200% better than Landsat satellites,
They
and
actually
even
have to.
400% better resolution improvement over manned aircraft. So
Why
what
did
is
they-
wrong with this? Plus, if you look at one other fact I got to throw at you, is because this
Right.
is a life safety issue.
Mm-hmm.
From 1937 to the year 2000,
Mhm.
66% of all field biologist fatalities in the Department of Interior
Right.
were as a result of aviation industries, injuries. Okay.
Yeah.
Aviation related
And manful.
incidents. Okay. So,
Right.
yes, I want to make sure my staff, okay, survives the next mission. And I think having them stand on the ground and taking aerial images with a drone is a heck of a lot safer than putting them in a small aircraft.
Well, the Department of the DOI, I'm reading here also, well, I read it earlier, but I have it bookmarked, that with nearly 30,000 drone flights to present day, they've observed that you can complete any given task that was done manually or the old-fashioned way in 1/7 the time and at 1/10 the cost of traditional means.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
helicopters, no planes,
Well,
search and rescue,
and the ability
whatever
to
they're
fly
doing.
you're
in
right.
inclement weather without additional risk,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to people.
Yeah, but
Okay.
how many birds did they have to down not using the DJI drones? The
What do you, I'm
Department
saying,
of Interior alone. How many?
Oh.
How many? Over how many?
it's
Because
ridiculous.
you're looking at in cost price with the cheapest one of these drones, right?
Yeah.
Now this is coming from companies that couldn't sell drones to consumers.
Right.
The cheapest drone that they have on this list is $7,800 US.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
With the
I want to know
going
what.
up to the cost of 21,000 just to compete with the government edition DJI drone that cost them the average price of their application with an application of 2,100.
Right.
Well, you look at, I can buy 3 DJI capable aircraft for the price of one of those and a shitload of batteries. Okay. So
Yeah.
if I'm a small department, I'm going to want a lot more for my money. Look, the Pentagon found that the components within the blue UAS drones
Right. Well,
are sourced globally and contain predominantly Chinese parts. So
honestly, what
who
it
the
was
freak are we kidding here?
because it was a get down or lay down scheme that was ran by the last administration, and that's honestly what it was. I mean, I'm still waiting for something to go on in that Wisconsin warehouse over that big old building that Foxconn built, that they were supposed to bring manufacturing of television screens and stuff like that to that warehouse. It was signed now. We're going 5 years ago.
And it's still an empty building.
It's still an empty building. Nothing's happening over there.
Globalization has happened. We either figure out a way to fit in, or we figure out how to be left out.
Oh no,
if
you're
we're left out, our economy will crumble. So we got to get it together and stop the political BS. Okay, you want to stand up a few U.S. companies, give them fucking huge tax breaks, throw them money to compete. Because you know what, competition is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing for you and me, right? Okay. That's why we have product choices. Hey, look, They didn't get it right. And now the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is coming out and going, well, you can't call it made in America.
Exactly.
Unless it meets this criteria, this criteria, this criteria, and this criteria.
That was the
And
story
guess what?
we did on Sunday.
None of them can. None of them can. Okay. So it's a falsehood that was propped up, and it's not solutioning. Okay. The need there is, look, so we're charging ourselves. Of course, you want to go into business with the government because they'll pay premium for everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem, Herman, is it takes them so long to pay you. Okay.
Yeah.
So your profit is eaten up in interest.
Yeah, you're back to the $5,000 for a screwdriver.
Just to stock inventory. Okay. for a band of bureaucrats. Hey guys, if you get a chance, you look up on YouTube. There was a video put out years ago. It's pretty funny to watch. It's called Pentagon Wars. And basically what it is, it's how they started out building a troop transport, an armored troop transport. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden the project crews got involved, and now it had to have a bigger gun on it. Well, with a bigger gun, they had to have some place to put more ammo on it. And what they wound up coming out at the end was just another tank. And the executive sponsor turned around and said, but we got tanks. I needed a armored transport. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board. You think about the millions and millions and millions of dollars that is spent. First. Okay. Yeah.
They're spinning their tires in the same spot.
Paperwork in, then they gotta go to this desk, to that desk,
and then go to this advisory committee and this subcommittee and this
6 months.
And every step
keep in mind, everyone's being paid for this work as well.
Yes. Remember, these are the same people who brought you $1,000 toilet seat and a $10,000 wrench. Okay.
Yes, yes. Don't forget the $5,000 screwdriver.
But if there was $2 more in your check, that would get corrected next week.
True.
Look, I told you, man, you vote for me next time for president, I will zero out that debt. Okay. I'm turning that debt.
It's funny you say that, Herman, because Herman and I were having a conversation, and he was telling me how I was dealing with a customer service. We won't go into who it was, but Herman was saying how you guys cannot fix this problem right here. But if I owed you 3 cents over the dollar, you would collect it like that. You know, you will not fix the issue, the present issue that I'm calling you for.
Launch an investigation.
Yes.
To fix a problem. I said, wait a minute, you know, the problem could be solved the same way I'm talking to you about it. Somebody can talk to somebody else about it.
Aviano, what's good, man? How are you?
I said, how long does the investigation take? I said, if you was selling me the product and I was getting it for $10 cheaper than you were supposed to sell it to me for, you'd correct that right away.
Exactly. Exactly.
No investigation done.
Absolutely.
And the lady agreed with you, right?
Yeah, but there's the company policy. They got to do an investigation. They got to investigate. But
that's what it's
somebody's
called.
Always got to make. Somebody's got their hand in the till.
Oh, of course. But as far as this Department of Interior, they're suffering, and they want their DJI back.
Absolutely. We all do.
Listen, it's.
I personally know of a department that spends grant money on drones. So yes,
it's crazy.
You want choices.
Yeah,
you want choices. Yep.
I mean, something's gonna have to give. I mean, you're gonna have to either allow it until something else better can come about, but we gotta put something into making the something else come about happen. You know, if it's gonna happen here, we're gonna have to make it happen here. We all know that to make these type of things happen here, you got to create the infrastructure for it, or it's just going to be an import system.
Well, that's what we signed up for many years ago, isn't it?
Yes.
We can offshore it and make it cheaper, so we can buy it cheaper.
Yep.
Okay, and we don't care that it put our neighbors out of jobs. But,
you know what?
So
once construction
adopted,
once construction adopted that theory, is when you started seeing all of these accidents and shit happening. You know how much equipment that I throw away when I was working once they started coming to us from China? and as opposed to being regular American steel products that we were using, those same companies were bringing it in. Some of it was
But they're
garbage.
taking those losses without even thinking about it.
Some of it, but some of it is garbage. It just doesn't.
Well, yeah, but you know, the rejection rate is higher, but they're still buying it so much cheaper that they don't care. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Marcel.
You know,
what's up?
We got to find better ways of doing business, but that's always the constant struggle, right? Okay. It's always the constant struggle. We just got to keep bureaucracy out of the way of technology's advancement. And that's the toughest thing. Imagine how far ahead in civilization we could be today if bureaucracy and politics didn't get in the way.
Well,
but then some believe that without the politics and bureaucracy, we get no advancement. Man, I just feel like
depends on what side of the fence you're standing on. I'm a neglected
child in a bad marriage with this two-party democratic system we have in this country. Okay, so I just feel like I'm neglected.
You know, that's exactly what it is.
My parents are in the kitchen; they're fighting. They're constantly fighting. That's all they do. Nobody ever wins. Nobody ever wins the argument, though. But nobody ever wins the argument, dude.
No,
you got to bring in a marriage counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
the marriage counselor will go crazy.
Well, you got to bring in a few marriage counselors. Why don't we call it other parties, like, you know, coalition government, man? Remember that there's more than one opinion in this damn country. And I believe there's probably more than two. So,
you know what?
What's not right about this? Okay. And as John Adams, probably one of our smartest presidents, a former president from Massachusetts said, okay, the threat to this experiment we call democracy is a two-party system. Okay. So, hey,
well,
profit realized. There you go.
It's for certain reasons that I actually.
So now I'm getting depressed because we started talking about politics. Move on, Herman. Move on, buddy.
Yeah, I was about to say it's for certain reasons that I don't discuss politics because my stomach gets all tense and I start yelling. So.
Okay. Well, you know, Zipline is back. And Zipline, you know, uses drones to deliver, you know, critical life-saving medicines to thousands of hospitals, serving millions of people
around the world
in multiple countries. So Zipline's mission says that they want to provide to each and every human on Earth, within an instant, access to vital medical supplies. Now, Zipline is looking to train people who are qualified, either private or commercial pilots with some formal manned aviation training and experience in what do you call it? In a rock solid understanding of Part 135.
Well, they're looking for so basically they're looking for
Part 121 training.
Okay. So let me explain that. They're looking for Part 121 or Part 135 training, which is commercial aviation and also military aviation. They're looking for, but you still need a remote pilot certification.
Yes, you do.
And you know, they're looking for a deep understanding of the training requirements and the competency check requirements, so that they can build evaluation programs to judge. Remember, we talked about, you know, I worked on NIOSH, you know, with coming out with certification standards for public safety flyers. And this is around, you know, this is going along those same grounds, basically. It's let's find a way to develop a certification process.
Yeah, they need someone to join as a manager of their flight operations team in North Carolina, that they're building this team over there in North Carolina.
Well, the fact that they're even offering these, they're offering these positions is a plus in itself to Zipline and anyone else who wants to get into that field or line of work.
Well, first is they're going to set up, they're not training the world, but what they're going to do is they're hiring basically a person to begin this process of developing the training and the evaluation criteria necessary.
Right. And you do have to come in with some
curriculum. Well, you got to be qualified for the job, right? You got to
Right, well,
basically you're coming out in an environment as either a certified flight instructor
Right, it's not
at
for
this
everyone.
level or that level, okay? And the ability to, you have to have some project management experience, okay, which comes into play. But you have to be able to develop educational curriculum so that there's, it's not a selfless act here, okay, with
No.
Zipline. No, what they're trying to do is develop the support ecosystem for the product that they put out there.
Right.
Okay.
That's
And
understandable.
because if they can have a complete package where I can sell you as a provider, okay, these packages that will suit your needs to transport payloads from A to B, okay? But I'm also going to provide you the structure and mechanism for sustainability and supportability, where I train your pilots, I certify your pilots, okay? Here are the recertification standards in place so that the effectiveness of the program, okay, is measurable, and people invest in things that are measurable.
Well, Thomas,
So
if Zipline is anything structured similar or anything like MatterNet, it's an airline, so you're going to use their people. Period. For the operation.
Right, but you can't become their people unless you have a
No.
This is for a particular position.
Right.
Okay. But think about it. United Airlines, a buddy of mine is a senior training pilot for United Airlines.
Right.
Okay. There's structured course curriculum. Okay. Pilots go through recertifications, constant recertification. Be happy about that, guys. Okay. That guy or girl sitting up front in that left seat.
Yeah.
Okay. Is earning their wages because they're attending the training, they're getting their flight hours in, okay? And at the first officer level, you have to have so much training, but they're going out now and they're hunting for younger kids to go into this industry as well. Okay? There's a lot of pilots ready to retire.
Well,
so it's a constant struggle to keep pilots coming in. But look, you have an inventory of aircraft to fly, and you can't just take one pilot and move them from this airframe to another airframe, right? They got to be certified on each aircraft. So that's why these companies have their own training curriculums clearly established so that their pilots can certify based upon the need, and that need is to keep the company running. So Zipline, is doing the same thing here. They're creating, that process and that structure that then they can start bringing pilots through and get them trained so that the systems that they sell, to their clients are sustainable. I mean, think about it. I remember Metro-Dade, Miami-Dade bought some military level drones. Got their city council to pay about $250,000.
2100.
No, about $250,000 a piece for these drones. They crashed them within about 2 weeks. And they went back to their city council and asked for more money, and it didn't work out for them. So, a company like Zipline wants to make sure whatever they put out keeps flying.
Oh yeah, so it
lowers their liability also, right?
Right, but we're expecting this whole drone delivery and thing to take off, right, Lawrence? So if you have a company and you want to deliver, you want to deliver some of your goods via drone, you're going to need an airline that you're going to hire and deliver your stuff. And you call Zipline. Zipline's got to be able to operate here in New York, Cleveland, or Tennessee, or wherever they might need to be. And they're going to need people to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a good thing. They are investing in an infrastructure in the United States that needs to be developed.
They're investing properly in their company. Education is a key component,
and it needs
in
to
any
be done more
success.
in the United States. It's a shame that a company like Zipline had to come here to the States to get the ball rolling. But if
Well,
that's what it
Zipline is
takes,
from the States, Lawrence. Zipline's from the States. Zipline's a U.S. company, homegrown U.S. company, always have been. They
yeah, but
just
in their
could
own,
not get a
but
market. No,
in their own
What-
country, in their own
no,
country, they
because
couldn't.
because the need they saw the greatest need on the African continent. They saw how they could establish the patency of their product
And it was
on the
capable.
African continent.
And get the
But they're
experience.
homegrown from the southern US. Okay. They've been around for a while. But they're
Angie says, I wonder if Zipline operator would go rogue and check out the scenery on the way back. Well, we've done
Why
a few
not?
episodes
Why not?
on Zipline.
Keep
What
the
the
video
deal is,
running.
once the drone is launched, it's only using an observer to make sure it gets from point A to point B and makes its actual drop site. Once it makes that drop site, it turns around on auto and heads straight for home. The operators are there to ensure that there are no errors.
It's the guy
and
sitting in the Tesla with his hands ready to touch the steering wheel if necessary.
No, they got guys at a catch site that they got.
I've seen guys sitting in
No,
a
I don't-
Tesla
yeah.
like this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, they have a catch site.
Yeah, that's when I
Sometimes
change
this is the
lanes and
catch site
highways.
That's when you let him go on
turn
ahead.
around and come back.
Hey, Welsh
Look, it's
Rob,
all the
thanks
routes
for
are
hanging,
mapped out,
man.
their waypoints. Look, Zipline's a good company. They're putting the right infrastructure in place to remain successful, and
I
they
agree.
they
It's not
have they're going to be a big player in the market, and they're going to remain as a big player in the market.
Especially when they're dealing with what Walmart.
Yep.
Yeah, Wally World,
Shoot,
as we call it here in New York.
they
Wally
needed
World.
to contact, or was it Amazon? One of them they got in touch with them about doing some business. That they're going to deliver for Amazon.
Well, a company that's poised, like you guys said, they're ready to come in with their own air force. A company that's poised like that, I bet you there's a bunch of downstream clients for them. So, properly positioned, properly prepared.
I realized how Amazon was able to do that, Lawrence.
How's that?
To make those deliveries within the same day, that type of thing.
Yeah.
The ones that some of them don't always come from the fulfillment center, as they call it. Instead of calling it a distribution warehouse, they call it a fulfillment center. But they have a lot of third-party sellers on board with Amazon. And what happens is LaserShip will shoot over to that location and pick it up and bring like 1 tube of ointment to your house for your pimples and pox and stuff like that. So that's how those things actually happen.
Okay.
They don't always come out of the place in Jersey and they run over here.
But keep one thing in mind. Amazon has collected so much data on you that they know before you do what you're going to buy next.
Yeah,
and believe me, it gets better when they implant the chip in you. Okay, so I think that chip's called Alexa too. Okay, there'll be people lined up. Yeah, I'll take one. It's a 10% discount on Prime. Yeah, right here. Okay, so please, please.
You got one of those
again
in the house, Lawrence?
Alexa. Okay, me and Siri have regular arguments, Herman. Okay. I asked her where to bury a body. She told me a landfill. Something's wrong with that girl.
See, that's the beauty about Bixby. Bixby dumb as shit. It don't know that much. So.
I think I seen Walmart had the first test site and they were getting into. I feel Amazon would get it first.
So
well, that's after, they were
understand.
preoccupied with going to space for 10 minutes. So give us some time to catch up, will you?
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Tom.
Well, now that everybody's back on the planet, no one's racing to get there anymore.
The race of billionaires. The race of billionaires.
Must be nice.
Boy, that was some diverse crew on that aircraft, huh?
Yeah, I know. From 18 to 82, I think it was.
Yeah.
The world's
the first oldest, shave that 18-year-old
oldest and the first youngest.
You know, it's funny. I was watching a show the other night before I went to bed, and they were talking about how there was a teenager on the flight, And one of the people was like, "Who would let their teenager go into space?" And the other lady goes, "You don't have kids, right?"
You know what? But that kid that went there, he's already a millionaire. He was at the bidding. What happened? They had bid
his father
28
bought him that
million,
trip.
and the person who was supposed to make it, that fell through, and he was next in line with the next bid, and that's how he actually got it. So you figure this 18-year-old was ready to spend 30 million, 20 to 30 million to go on this flight. He already got the money.
His dad paid for his trip, bro.
He's a genius, but he's a genius kid, though. You see the
bio
on that
he's
kid?
into physics, yeah, but
yeah,
still, but still, okay. Just Bezos in a cowboy hat. I don't know. That just didn't work for me, man.
It didn't sound right either.
It just didn't work for me. Like that wasn't the biggest midlife crisis ever, right? Okay. So what's next, Herman? What we got?
That's about it.
Well, that is about it. We can almost go squirrel. My thing is.
Oh, wait. What about is it tooltip time?
It's time for
there you go.
Tips.
Oh,
Tom's tip time.
Okay.
Acceptable.
So, lady and gents, I got a good one for you this time. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen in a second, but look, what do you do before you go flying is the question. So we've talked about things like, hey, you should have a pre-flight. Definitely, we talked earlier in the show.
You should. Better
about doing your firmware updates. Don't wait till you get out in the field to do them.
Correct.
But what about R&R? And for you military guys, I'm not talking about rest and relaxation. I'm talking about research and recon. Okay. And recon is doing that research ahead of time makes things so much easier when you go out there to fly. Okay. Especially when you're in a dense urban area like we are here. It's important that you got a lot of free tools out there. You're lucky. You're in a connected world now. So one thing that you should think about using off the bat right away is Google Maps. Okay. So I go to Google Maps. Okay. Oh, you guys
hold on.
Me?
It says you're sharing. It may take a second to come up. Hold on. I do not see anything as of yet. You may have to stop sharing and start again. I don't know what.
No, you know what? It's
you're also skipping some, Tom.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
I'm back.
Okay,
right?
well,
I'm back. So
there you go.
See.
There you go.
Let's see if we can pull this off.
Yeah,
okay.
Highlight it and then share it.
Yep, that's what I'm trying. So it's going. Let's see if it'll let me share. We'll try this. And let's see. You guys let me know if it comes up. Says I'm sharing.
Okay. I see it.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So Google Maps, right? So Google Maps is a tool you should be using to research any flight that you're going to make. I'm not going to cover all the things that you should do, but just some quick and dirty stuff real quick. Like with Google Maps, okay? We'll look in an area here and figure out where we want to fly. I have a good spot I'll zoom in on, and some in the area will recognize it.
Oh, boy.
It's the Staten Island Boat Graveyard.
Watch out for syringes and diapers.
But what you do is, what I like to do is, I'm looking for a few things here. Where are my points of interest? Okay. Where am I going to park? Where am I going to fly from? And where am I going to eat afterwards? Okay. The important things. So one of the things I'll do is I'll go to the satellite view and take a look. Okay. And this is my general area in which I want to fly. So where am I going to take off from? Now I have a little spot I will show you. It's directly adjacent to a car wash. It gives me some pretty clear air
There's a Chinese
as far
restaurant
as a signal,
too over there.
but I will use another tool within Google Maps called Street View. So with Street View, I'll drop in an area. Yeah, I was thinking about parking up here. I like the idea that there's some shade there too. And where my clear flight lines, I know I'm going out in this general direction. Okay. And yes, I do live in an area where there's a ton of overhead lines. So being aware of where they are and what your flight path's going to be. So if I'm going to fly from over here, I know I'm going to have to lift off, and probably right away, the first thing I do is I get up to the height of the wires. I check what my altitude is so that I know when coming back, I got to be above that. Okay. So I'll look there. So that's one thing I do within Google Maps. But another thing I do is I check to see what I'm going to need as far as battery power. And so I got my spot I'm going to be taking off from, right? And this is the area I want to fly. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to right click from my takeoff location, and I'm going to go measure distance. Now, right away, it drops a point there. So let's say I just want to do a complete orbit around everything to get a bird's eye view of what I might fly on my next battery. And I'm going to go ahead and do a complete orbit and bring myself back to my takeoff location. But as I can see here, that's not going to chew up a lot of battery. That only puts me at about 2.1 kilometers, or a little over 1.25 miles. So I got plenty of range right there, right? So that's one way of looking at it. Now I might also want to see, well, what's it going to take me if I want to do a grid and I want to fly and get the most coverage in the area. So I might fly a pattern like this, where I'm getting good coverage in the area. Some of you guys might recognize patterns like this as being waypoints in a mapping mission. Okay. And so this might be the pattern I look to fly until I come back. And then when I look up down here, again, less than 2.5 miles. Okay. So that's one tool I use, is to take a look there. But then, I'm looking for, okay, here's another right-click tool you can use, or context menu, is not just measure distance, but search nearby. And I might want to search for restaurants. So when I'm done flying,
restaurant right up the street from the car
right?
wash.
Okay. But there's a cheeseburger in the mall right down over here. Okay. Just now, here's one important thing you get. So if I'm going to be flying from over here, right? If I right click, you see immediately it tells me in decimal what my lat and long is. I want that. So I by clicking on it, I copied it to the keyboard. Now here's the next tool tip, is another program. It's called the Photographer's Ephemeris. Okay. Ephemeris is a table or a data set that contains the position of celestial bodies. The moon, the sun, okay? The sun being the most important when we're shooting. Why? Because photography is capturing light. And what does the sun give us? It gives us the light we need to capture. So remember that digital, okay, the decimal Latin long? I can put this in the search bar, click search, okay, and go ahead and navigate to that element, okay? And now, here's what we can do here. First off, it gives me when the civil start of sunrise, okay, sunrise, that golden hour period, all the way to the golden hour on the other side of that equation, sunset and civil daylight end, right? But I can also drag, okay, a cursor down here. And what you're seeing is that yellow line is the position of the sun. Okay, so I can track the position of the sun. We'll say from sunrise, which we see is 5:44. And what this is also telling me is, okay, what's the apogee of that sun? What degree element is it above horizon? And so I can see where the sun is going to be during this period. Okay. And that's what I'm looking for. So where are my shadows going to be? Where's my depth? What am I capturing? So those things are part of that research and recon that you do.
Okay.
And that concludes Tom's tooltip. Photographer's Ephemeris, by the way, is a free web application. If you do want to pay for the pro app, that's $30 a year.
I could see using this, Tom.
That'll give
because you may want a
features.
certain, but Tom, you may want the sun at a certain angle, like Manhattan, as the Freedom Tower is the tallest building there, and you may want the sun reflecting. For example, there's a sunset shot here in July during these last weeks of July that you can catch the sunset going down over the horizon out here where I live, and the sun reflecting off of the Freedom Tower and other skyscrapers in Manhattan in the background.
So I've used this extensively in shooting, and I took a shot of a church built into the side of a mountain.
You have a link for that you could post in the chat?
That's the Photographer's Ephemeris. It's Photo Ephemeris. Okay, I'll share the screen again. You can see the banner at the head. Okay, hold on one second. We'll get it back up on the screen for you. Okay, but it's the Photo Ephemeris. Again, 99% of you will not need the pro version. You can go with the Frio. Okay.
I like this because you may want the sun to be at a certain angle at a certain time, and this would tell you when and where that is.
So I took a photograph many years ago. It seems like many years ago, of a church built into the side of a mountain in Sedona, Arizona. And in that shot, during daylight hours, I had the moon fully lit behind the church. And the only way I got that shot was to know where the moon was going to be. So, guys, we showed the yellow line, but the blue line is the moon.
Right.
Okay. So, you can see when the moon rises and the moon sets. So depending on where you are and depending on the phase of the moon, which this application, I didn't go that deep into this application, guys, but there's a lot here to play with. Okay, there's a lot of features here to play with. And some of those features, like you'll see these pins, right? Well, we're at the location pin, but I also have an elevation pin right here. So think about it. When I'm out in the mountains in the Southwest and I'm west of a mountain range, well, my shadows are going to be much different. I'm not going to see the sun the same time, casting the same shadows, because I have a big mountain range of 12,000 feet blocking the sun. So by using this pin, I can put this pin on that other elevation to the east of me where the sun's rising, so I can get a better idea of when I'll get the shadows that I need, or I'll get the light that I need.
That's interesting.
To photograph the scene I'm looking for. So a lot of capability here. I touched on very little of it, but man, it's a tool set that you got to keep in the drawer and you got to use, okay, before you go out there and shoot, man. What a difference it can make in what you capture by knowing where those elements are going to be and how you're going to fly them, right?
It's like something I could use, so.
Yeah,
it's a
most
good little
definitely.
Tool. Look, Google Maps comes free of charge. Okay. Just realize they track every movement you make. But also Google Earth. Okay. So if you want to see, where those mountain ridges are, or where that cliff is, or will that high rise get in my way of this shot? Okay. Google Earth's good for that. Now realize that these things aren't real time. They're not completely up to date. So realize it's like anything else.
Well, that's for terrorist
Recon.
reasons. We know that already.
Well, it's more so that it takes a lot of time to crunch all this data. Okay, so the frequency of updates, you know, is at a certain degree. They don't worry, they redact out important things. If you've ever gone to Google Maps and there's some areas that seem very, very blurry, it's because you're not supposed to see them.
Those are added in purposely. I've realized that.
Right.
Just like if you notice Google Map, you rarely see people. You see lots of cars, but you rarely see people because
they actually have algorithms that go through the data
erase the people
and redact out. They redact out people, the blur. Okay.
Yes.
That
this is interesting. I might try and play around with this and see.
Yeah, this is free, guys. If you want the pro version, of course, the pro version is $4 a month, $10 every 3 months, or you get a big discount at $30 a year. Okay, $10 off there. Okay, but
$30 a year.
But I got to be honest with you. Okay, you get a lot in the free version. The high quality maps,
the moon
sunrise,
phases,
sunset, all of that. The moon phases. You
point
can search
to point
by name.
Distance bearing.
You saw that we searched by decimal coordinate entry, right? Which we pulled right out of Google Maps. Right. I showed you. We go into right click. Okay, I can right click over anything, and then right here, once I click on this, it saves it to the clipboard. So now I can go into the photographer's ephemeris or into Google Earth and drop that right into the search bar.
And have that exact
hit the search bar, bingo, drop it right there, hit search, and hit go, and that's where it's going to take me. Or I can save it for reference later on. So I have a bunch of those saved. Okay. I always have my search start with the state abbreviation, whether it's New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Nevada, California, Utah, Arizona, and I save all my searches that way. And then I'll take these same coordinates, guys, and I'll put them into Waze. So this way, when I, go into the car, I have that exact location I'm going to wind up stopping at, and I know where my parking is. I know at that point in time, I'm pretty well versed at where my angles are going to be, where I'm going to fly, and how I'm going to come back, what my access points are to the area I'm going to fly in. So do your research ahead of time. You save a ton of batteries that way, by the way. Okay. You can really use your batteries to capture. Okay.
Can you pull this down? Because I can't see
down right now for you. Taking it right down. There you go.
Thanks.
Okay.
Before you fly, Stevie says he uses Google Earth pretty much before every drone, every drone session.
Before you fly, air maps, Kitty Hawk, they should be on your phone. I have a folder on my phone called UAS. Everything I need is in there so that I don't have to hunt around for these various apps. So I'll go into UAS support. I have it all laid out there. Even UAS forecast, if none of you guys have used it, it's a quick and dirty application that tells you right off it's good to fly. I have my altitude set at around 150 to 200 feet. So it will tell me what the wind speed at that altitude is compared to my ground level. Remember, the higher you go, the different winds. Okay, what direction, what the probability of precipitation is, aka rain. Okay, what percentage of cloud cover. So I'll read off some of the numbers I'm getting right now from where I'm sitting. I'm in a good to fly area. My current ambient temperature is 77 degrees with a wind speed of 7 miles an hour, gusting to 17. My wind direction is coming out of the northwest. I got 55% cloud coverage right now, but my visibility is 10 miles and I can see 17 satellites. So there's my confidence level meter. Okay. Because all of these contribute to me going, yeah, I'm going to fly. Okay. So that coupled with Kitty Hawk, air maps. Okay. Which, by the way, you can put in a Lance request through those and get clearance to fly in areas. Okay.
I use before you fly.
Before you fly. But before you fly, so I'm sorry, I got to tell you, Santa's not real, but Before You Fly is written by Kitty Hawk. Okay.
I know.
For the
Yes.
FAA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you use
No,
Kitty Hawk,
that
you
I
got
know.
to beat. Okay.
No, that I do know, but in the
Yeah.
event, like I did have an incident where a cop came up on me and I mentioned it, and he was like, "You're not supposed to be flying here," and I'm like,
Oh, Air
first,
Maps is great for that. Air Maps is
Yes.
great for that because then you can bring up on Air Maps where it lists
Your
everything.
ceiling.
Yeah,
Your
I've met
ceiling
that
height.
requirement. I met that requirement and that requirement, and
Yeah,
you
they
can
have
see
it
those
on-
are FAA
on Kitty Hawk
requirements.
does too.
Yeah, they do that. So you can shuck and jive any police officer with one of those apps pretty easily. Okay.
Well, it wasn't so much shucking and jiving, but when the conversation was over, he was like, "Wow, I didn't know you had all this information was
Well,
available."
that's what you're doing. That's what I'm talking about. The shuck and jive. You're look,
Yeah.
folks. Fake it till you make it, will you? Okay.
Confidence
You
meter.
gotta
I've never heard of
remember,
that.
Lawrence,
Have a level of
Sunrise.
confidence. That's all that means.
Lawrence,
Okay.
you gotta remember one thing. Law enforcement is taught in the mindset that every drone pilot
Angie, I'm sorry,
is a
but
jerk.
the Easter Bunny is real, Angie. The Easter Bunny is real. Don't worry. Okay.
Easter Bunny is real.
I just had to pull the covers off. She's mad at me because she believed I just burst her bubble.
She believes in Santa.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I had to pull the covers off of that one. I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
Santa Claus was never really a New York City.
Look.
thing.
I keep on telling the wife it's Santa Claus who keeps bringing me these drones. Okay, so just keep the lid on.
I
that.
wish I could have got away with that. But you know what I started doing at one time, Tom? My wife and my daughter, they shop on Amazon ritualistically. It's to the point where the Amazon man pulls up in front of the house and he pulls out his hand cart and we know half the packages are going upstairs and half are going to my house. So what I started doing was, "You're expecting a package, babe, on Tuesday? I'll go out and get it." And I would bring their stuff in and toss mine in a closet.
Yeah, well, hey, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
I
don't
got a
have to do.
shopaholic in
I
the
don't
other
have to
room,
do
so
that anymore.
I'm okay.
I don't have to do that anymore these days. But it was fun doing it because one time my wife goes, "What's that in a closet?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a gift for our daughter." My daughter
I
goes,
thought you
"It's
were
not a
gonna
gift for me."
good thing because I thought
she
we were
goes,
going
"It's
to get
not a
into
gift for me."
a transformation discussion again. Okay, what's in the
No, but my
closet
daughter
there?
goes,
Okay.
"It's not a gift for me. Look at the label. It's something drone related."
You see,
Tom
Herman,
is
this mind
Santa
still
after
works,
a keto
bro.
diet.
This mind
You
still
see what
works.
Stevie
Okay.
put, Tom?
You
Tom
know
is
what?
Santa after the keto diet.
Hey, listen. That it's not a 6-pack, it's a 12-pack. Okay.
Okay.
That's what this is. Okay.
Listen,
this
I
is a
tell
dad bod.
people,
This is
I tell
this is a
people,
12-pack. It's on
Tom, I
sale.
tell people my 6-pack turned into a gallon.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Not the whole keg.
No, this is a 12-pack of
just
Keystone,
turned from a
baby.
6-pack into a
Okay.
gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes Sunrise Water, I used to have to do what I had to do because it dawned on me at one time I was receiving parts and pieces every other day, because if I go to build a drone, you have to get the frame, you need the flight controller, you need all these equipment. So what I would do is I would make it one order, but the places usually get the stuff to me within 3 to 4 days. So within 3 to 4 days, I would get 2 or 3 packages at one time. And they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, he's getting more stuff than we are."
You know? Yeah, it's never good. That's never good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But these days, I don't have to worry about that.
Don't forget, I think tonight is Johnny.
Blind Neil, you're right, a baby keg.
Johnny and Ray,
keg.
right?
Yeah, baby
What
keg.
happened?
Small ones.
Tonight is
Hey, don't forget to yes,
Johnny
Tom.
and Ray.
Yes,
on,
Fly for Fun.
If you didn't already reach out to Johnny, reach out to Johnny. Get an email to Johnny regarding the Drone Show TV guide, okay, or Drone Show streaming guide that Johnny spent a great amount of effort on putting together.
I have it right here.
I got to get my email out
turn the
there.
phone sideways.
So, yeah,
but I have the list right here, and it has from Sunday through Saturday, everybody that's online, the times, everything.
How'd you
In
get
fact, I need to download this to my computer.
got to send Johnny.
Upload
Just
this to
send
my
Johnny
computer.
a text or an email.
Well, Lars got it. He can send it to me.
Yeah, I can actually do that. I can send it to you on Messenger, and I will download it to my computer. So instead of going who's on next and who comes on so and so, I can pull the schedule up. Cool, Bick, what's good, man?
Send it to me in the text. Oh, what's up, Cool Bick?
Yeah, while you're sending it to Herman, shoot it my way.
I know why Cool Bick is here. Basketball season's over.
Yeah.
Now he knows us again. Basketball season. I don't know what the hell if he was still in New York or what. Now that basketball season's over, welcome back, Ray.
He can hang up his sneakers and the shorts and get back to flying.
But he did warn us. He did warn us. And this is going on 2 years. Even last year, he's like, yo, basketball, y'all ain't going to see me.
Yeah, but he's always still out there active flying, though.
Oh, I know. He still be. How are you, Blind Neil? I hope all is well with you. And Blind Neil, you don't have to lurk, man. Come in and say hello. We appreciate each and every time you guys come. We appreciate the lurkers. We appreciate the haters. We appreciate everybody because we have no hate for anyone. Seriously. He said, Neil, to capture light, put Neil be like, and he put the 2 eyes. That's funny. I got it bookmarked. Thanks for the link, Lens Capture.
You got it,
try
Angie.
it on the next
no
flight.
problem.
Well,
Absolutely.
Don't try it on the next flight, Angie. The objective is to use it before your flight. Make it a regular pre-flight check. Like before I go out and I fly my FPV drones, and I found this out my first year of flying FPV, a pre-flight check on an FPV drone is to make sure all the screws are tight. Because I was flying, Tom, and I did a power loop or something. I forget what I did, but after I recovered from it, the camera was like
hey, do you guys catch Ken Herron's drone crash compilations? They are freaking hilarious. Okay,
I haven't seen it.
Tom,
so here's what I would suggest: live vicariously through Ken Herron. Okay.
Oh yeah.
At least all your crashes. Make sure. Yeah, it's Ken that's doing them, not you.
That park behind Lawrence there on the
yeah
where the buildings are. We were there we were there one day, right? And after we left, they had some thunderstorms and stuff. All that water became one with that park.
Oh yeah.
Even flooded the Deegan.
Yep, I know that area. Sure. Is that Roberto Clemente? Is that building behind him? It looks like it. Yeah.
That's Stacy Towers or something. That's Stacy Towers in the Bronx. I believe it is.
That's another name for that.
Oh no, yeah. Water's Edge. No, I
trying to remember the name of it, but it's not. It's
not Stacy Towers.
Matter of fact, let me go look.
Something Towers. I had the name of it. Hold on, I'll have to go to Google for it, and I'll tell you exactly what it is right now. Give me a second to pull up Google Maps. In fact, I will share and tell you exactly where it is. Zoom out and go to the Bronx.
Where's Stevie?
And it is. Hold
on.
The wrong place. Over here. Wait a minute. North, yes. Where the hell? Oh, I know. I was too far. I was too far north.
Got to go up the Deegan.
Up the Deegan here to Stacy, not this far up. Wait, there's George Washington Bridge. What the hell?
In the area of the bridge.
You're nowhere near it. No, you're nowhere near it. That's what I said it was. Yeah.
It's in the area of the bridge, Lawrence.
You're talking about that's River Park Towers over there. That's part, and that's Roberto Clemente
River
State
Park Towers
is right there.
That's the name of the park.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
No. Roberto Clemente is the state park that runs right along there.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the building.
Is Highbridge Park. Highbridge Park is on the other. Yeah, Highbridge Park is on the other side.
On the other side of the bridge, further south.
No, well, not if it's that bridge that's behind them. I'm saying that's.
You know what?
That's the Washington. That's the
I was actually
Bridge
on the
right
Hudson
there, over the Harlem River.
I was actually on the Hudson, and I should have been on the other side. That's where I see. That's where I see.
This isn't the Hudson.
No,
This is the Harlem River.
the Harlem River.
Harlem. Oh,
Yeah, this is the Harlem River.
That's Bridge Park. High Bridge Park is the other
Bridge
one.
Park, but Bridge Park is just right here. It's a very short park.
It's a little tiny.
The rest of this is all Roberto Clemente State Park. And
on the
then,
other side.
yeah.
No,
Here we go.
no,
On the other
no.
side of the
So-
building.
Okay.
Here it is. I found
Raise
it.
your left hand, Lawrence.
Yeah.
See the
Just
building
look.
behind
No, I lost you.
Lawrence?
So, okay, your left
Left
hand
hand.
over your left shoulder that he's pointing to. That's Bridge Park, and okay, you have Roberto Clemente State Park over his shoulder and by his ear, and the high
Here it
building
is.
there.
Yes.
is
Here
along
are
that
the
park.
buildings right here.
Okay,
These are the
but
buildings.
that's River Park Towers right there. I know it well. I had a couple
Yes.
of jumpers from there.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Then
actually where
over
the park
his right
starts.
shoulder, Herman, is Highbridge Park.
Right. High Bridge is back this way. Right
Highbridge,
here.
raise your
South.
right
Here's-
hand.
Here's High
Yeah,
Bridge.
yeah.
This is High Bridge right here on the map, because this is the tower, the High Bridge water tower. If you zoom in, you can see. Yeah, we were down here
the-
in this
The
area.
bridge, right. But that's not the bridge behind you. The bridge that's behind you is the Washington Bridge over the Harlem
Right here.
River.
That's this one. Yes, that's this one right here. I'm
Yes,
actually in
that's
the
it
middle
right
of
there.
the water
Yes.
where it says Harlem
exactly.
River. I was actually
Right.
hovering right here,
Right.
looking under the bridge,
Yes.
looking uptown. Yes,
Yeah,
I was.
Because that's the one that comes out of side. Yeah, that's
Yes, that is Washington.
right.
All right. Well, it's that time, guys.
So we went squirrel just along the Harlem River there. Okay.
And you know, there's actually a military training route through there.
Yes,
Yes, there
Tom.
is.
Right down the river.
Oh, I don't worry.
Because
I'm
Cool Big
I'm
could
not gonna
tell you
comment on
Cool Big could tell you a
not going
helicopter
to comment on it.
came through there really close.
It's correct. Black Ops.
Okay. Well, it is that time to get out of here. We'll be back again on Sunday, guys. Anybody have anything to say?
Peace
No,
and
just
love,
fly
peace and love.
safe and
Yes, right.
be safe and fly safer.
I will not
Yes,
sign any
everyone
autographs
out there.
past October 1st. So don't send me any more stuff to autograph.
Sunrise says,
Peace
No
and
more
love.
autographs?
Peace and love.
Well,
Any
like I
Howard
said,
Stern fans in the room will get that reference. Okay.
well, I'd like to thank all you guys in the chat for coming and hanging out tonight. But without you, none of this would be possible. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.
Those
good
guys.
night all.
Night all.
Later.
Peace out.